Good morning everyone, the MMDA are back on the road. This is EDSA, obviously 2019. The aim is to try and make EDSA a little bit more comfortable for everyone during the new year. I can see they're trying to flag this bus over, tell him to go into the yellow lane. That is one of the big problems, and that's one of the things they're fighting against, is to get the buses to go where they're meant to be. Anyway, let's go. And you've also got the motorcycles that they're trying to push into the motorcycle lane. I'm sorry that the image isn't great this morning, but it's around 5 AM and the camera doesn't do super well in this low light, especially with the headlights coming towards it. The main thing they're aiming for is discipline, getting people to follow the rules, whether that's because they want to be part of the solution or it's because they don't want to get a ticket. Ticket prices are going up for a number of violations, and yeah, hopefully we'll see a better EDSA this year. What some people have said to me in the past is it's a shame to have 2 lanes dedicated just to buses when the cars could also use it. But the idea is to promote public transport, promote people taking the bus. That yes, it might not be as comfortable as owning your own car, but you can beat the traffic, because when the private cars are stuck in those lanes and it's gridlock, the buses can still pass freely. The team have now moved on to another part of EDSA. Actually, they stopped a couple of times along the way to speak to enforcers and to remind them about what they need to be doing. There's a lot of hard-working enforcers along EDSA, but there's also a few who just wave on vehicles. They don't really enforce. They don't issue tickets to buses that load unload illegally. They don't guide the pedestrians to the correct bus stop. So a little bit of a reminder also for the enforcers on the ground. Yes, there are those who are doing a very good job, but there's also those who could do a little bit better, and that will benefit everyone on the road. Over here, the enforcers already got the license of the driver from this bus. He unloaded some passengers here, so they'll issue a ticket for illegal unloading. This is not a bus stop. This is just, you know, the side of the road. For a long time, pedestrians and commuters have got used to the fact that you can jump on and off a bus anywhere along EDSA, but it really can cause a lot of traffic, so that's why they're trying to crack down on it. Same with this is actually a violation right here, closed door policy. Their doors must be closed at all times to prevent people from jumping on and off the bus. Look at this, they're walking in the middle of the road, running in the middle of the road to try and get on a bus. It's so dangerous. She's not looking behind her. If a vehicle comes speeding along, she can easily get hit. The enforcers are shouting at her now, telling her to move out of the road. Very dangerous. But the problem is the buses have really taught people to act like this, because they will let them jump on and off. So the enforcers told the lady and a couple of gentlemen to walk down to the bus stop, and they were complaining it's too far. The thing is, this is how it works in every country. You have to walk to the bus stop. That's the bus system. This lady over here is trying to negotiate on behalf of one of the buses. She came down because it's being issued a ticket. One of the things you often hear from the buses is, don't you know we're connected to general someone? Don't you know we're with attorney whoever? Yes, those people might have respective positions and they might be very respectable people, but the enforcers have very clear advice from the chairman of the MMDA. Issue tickets, enforce the law to everyone. It doesn't matter who they know, and that's what they're doing. They're issuing tickets. What I've seen a number of times is that a bus driver comes along with their door open. They spot that a bus has been pulled over and is being issued a ticket, and then they close their door and they don't try to unload. And that's the reality. When you start enforcing, when you start issuing tickets, especially here on the ground, they will start following the rules. For the longest time, bus drivers have been able to get away with a lot of stuff, and even if they do get caught, it's via CCTV. So the ticket doesn't go to the driver, it goes to the vehicle, and then it's the operator that pays it, and they let all the tickets add up until the end of the year when it comes time for registration. Whereas now, when they're being stopped on the ground level, it's really going to the driver himself. Now, of course, the downside of that is that you end up adding to traffic when you stop the buses to issue a ticket. It's not so bad here because they can pull them over to the side of Petron, but in other areas it's a little bit more difficult. That's why some people have proposed ideas like having the driver's license details in the front of the vehicle and at the back, so that the CCTV can issue the ticket to the correct driver, or something like that. It could be a QR code, however you want to do it. Now, of course, buses are not the only problem on EDSA. You do have a problem also with private cars obstructing the bus lane or parking along EDSA. That's quite common. Then you have motorcycles that weave in and out. Some of them a little bit reckless. Not all of them. Some of the riders are very safe. So there are many problems on EDSA, but for me, I think the buses really do cause the most traffic. Most of this bus has his door open. I don't know if he's gonna, nearly hit that curb. That would have been interesting. Well, might have been deadly. I think this bus is about to unload illegally. The enforcers step forward to deal with another bus, and as soon as they're out of sight, the buses are back to their normal tricks. This is the problem, they only follow the rules if there's an enforcer watching, and even then they often don't follow the rules because for the longest time they haven't been penalized for doing this. And look, he's still sitting there waiting for passengers. It's not such a problem now because it's not super heavy traffic, but when they do that later in the day and there is heavy traffic, it can really make a difference. Anyway, the enforcer's just moving in now to issue a ticket. He's telling him to go and stop by Petron. Okay, the bus driver's refusing though because he wants to take the flyover. The very, very stubborn bus drivers. He's sitting here causing traffic even though he's been told to go and pull over to the side there so he won't add to traffic. And it's now probably around 6 AM, so traffic's building up, it's rush hour. They just stopped this private vehicle here for being in the bus lane, the yellow lane. They're asking now to see the driver's license, although it looks like the driver might not be able to show one. So it's possible they could call in a tow truck and impound it. The enforcer's now moved in front of the car to block it. I hope this isn't going to be another one of those situations where they keep bumping the enforcer.
Mali yun, dapat iniwan na station. Wala mo mangyayari dyan. Maipaw yung kotse mo.
I'm not sure if I caught it on camera, but the driver went forward again and bumped the enforcer, so he's having words with the driver now. And right now the guy's actually driving forward while he's on his cell phone, so that in itself is adder. I suspect the driver does have a license but just doesn't want to give it, but let's see how this plays out. The tow truck is here now, ready to take it away. They now have the license from the driver of this one, and they're writing out a ticket for yellow lane violation and reckless driving, and they're confiscating the license. Apparently they'd actually tried to stop him further down the road also, and he didn't stop, so that's why the license has been confiscated, aside from what you saw in my video. It's a very dangerous job to be an enforcer on EDSA. You pretty much just have to pray every day that you don't get hit, and they do get hit sometimes, unfortunately. Enforcers have died here on EDSA. So when you get angry with them because they're issuing you a ticket, just think about what they have to do every day. Think about all the fumes and the smoke that they have to suck into their lungs every day. It's not an easy job. Of course, it's not just regular enforcers. Even Bong is standing in the middle of EDSA. You might think, well, what difference can one man do? Well, just being here on the ground, since he's the head of EDSA, probably means a lot to the other enforcers, because he's there, he's doing the same job as them, he's experiencing the same things as them, he's seeing the same problems as them, so they can respect him. And I think even motorists, because of course he has a reputation, so they respect him, they're more likely to follow the rules. I can see Bong is telling this bus here to move over. He's in the, what's that, the 4th or 5th lane? They're not allowed there. Provincial or city, there's no reason for them to be there, but yeah, they often do go there. Of course, the problem is when they try to cut back, what happens is they get into fight with private cars, because private cars don't like them being there. They often bump. There's so many accidents along EDSA with buses. Just stubborn, really stubborn. So right now they're issuing a ticket to this taxi for illegal unloading along EDSA. The driver said, I didn't want to put him down here because I knew I'd get a ticket, but he insisted. If you look, Petron is literally just there, so if they'd have pulled in there and unloaded, wouldn't have got a ticket. It's so close. So for the driver, I guess he's learned a lesson not to listen to the passenger, because he will be the one to pay the price, not the passenger. This bus is also unloading passengers, so issue a ticket. It's amazing, even when enforcers are standing right there with their bright fluorescent uniforms, they'll still unload passengers right in front of them. Maybe because it's 150 pesos. It's not exactly scary, is it? The enforcer just took the license from that bus over there who'll be writing out a ticket. Being outside of the yellow lane is 1,000 peso. That red bus just unloaded passengers right next to the enforcer, the one in the without the fluorescent jacket, and he just looked at them and let it happen. So Bong's shouting now to capture and issue a ticket. So that's the kind of thing that we're highlighting here, that not all of the enforcers are on the same page, and that's why he needs to be here on the ground to teach them so they know what they're doing. Like I said, there are many enforcers doing a very good job on EDSA. It's not everyone. Commuters are starting to build up again, waiting to get on the buses. I guess part of what MMDA need to do is to educate commuters also, to let them know where are the bus stops, that you actually have to use a bus stop. I think a lot of people might not even know that, so education on the side of MMDA is also part of this, I think. It's actually a violation to honk the horn like beep 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 beep, like the buses always do. They always blow out the ear of commuters or pedestrians walking on the sidewalk. I would love to see enforcers start issuing tickets for that, because there are signs everywhere saying not to use the horn. There is a violation of using the horn, but they still do it all the time. So I would love to see some tickets issued for that. There you go. One of the riders is about to go ahead and check if there's been an accident. He suspects something might have happened because traffic's just a little bit heavier than it should be. Oh my goodness, look, another guy that's in the middle of the road. Anyway, he's gonna go ahead and check. Yes, there's CCTV, they can check with Metro base, but sometimes it's quicker just to zip down there and take a look yourself. Most of the enforcers have gone forward to deal with the accident. So that means the buses are free to go back to their normal tricks. You can see that this one's been sitting here for a while now. Basically made it into a little terminal waiting for passengers. And of course that's gonna add to traffic because that's one lane blocked. Look at this motorcycle rider. Come on. And what you can see is a lot of these motorcycle riders are going up on the sidewalk to get around the bus. It's not really acceptable because look, there's a lot of pedestrians there who are being at risk of being hit by these motorcycle riders. Okay, it looks like the bus is finally leaving now. Bicyclist nearly put himself at great risk there, unfortunately. Now some of these bus drivers might say, well, we're just trying to help commuters. You know, we see them there so we pick them up, or they want to go down so we drop them off. The thing is, they're thinking small picture. They're thinking about the individual person. What they need to think about is the bigger picture, about how it causes accidents, about how it causes traffic, and that has a knock-on effect for hundreds of thousands of people because EDSA is a very busy road. So they need to think big picture, not little picture. I can hear some wang wang, I can see some lights. What is it? Rescue. It looks like it's from the barangay. You know, barangay ambulances, barangay rescue vehicles, they're usually used as taxis. It's very rare that they're actually used for what they're intended for. I just heard some honking because this bus suddenly cut in front of a car. Why? He wants to unload passengers. Again, that's obviously not a bus stop, and he's not even close to the curb. Bus is very, very stubborn. Oh, it's going way too fast, I can tell you that. Nearly crashed into that car. These buses are so reckless. They're just speaking to the driver of this one now, parked obstructing the sidewalk. That will be illegal parking attended, which is 1,000 peso. And there's actually a pedicab trying to go on EDSA. He's getting a good tongue lashing, but not much else. But there's not much you can do with the pedicabs, to be honest, because they don't have a driver's license. So you can't really penalize them. All you can do is send them away. If they ignore you, then you impound them, you put them on the back of the truck. Although there's no truck here right now. Further along EDSA, they're issuing a ticket to this truck that he's parked here, loading, unloading. And what you'll notice is interesting is someone has removed the fence here. The driver said that he's here every single day, loading, unloading. And they said, okay, we'll ticket you every single day. And that might be why this fence has been removed. If you look, there's fencing all the way along here. It's only in front of the hardware shop where it's mysteriously been removed. So yeah, I wonder who removed it. Further along, they've stopped these two tricycle drivers. Of course, tricycles are not allowed on EDSA. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have a driver's license, so his vehicle will be impounded. The other one will just be issued a ticket and sent on his way. Of course, he'll have to take the side streets, not EDSA. Over here, another tricycle. He was actually on the inside lane. They often go there because they know enforcers are on the outside. But they flagged him over and they're just issuing a ticket now. And over here, two more tricycles that have been flagged down and are being issued tickets now. The driver of this tricycle went over and spoke to Bong. Then he went back to the enforcers and said, Bong said don't give me a ticket. And then they asked Bong, well, of course he didn't say that. Just trying to play games really. But you can see he's handed over a license now and they'll write out the ticket.